Howdy, folks. You are listening to the Busted Knees and Pretty Trees podcast. We've got your back for when you're packing that backpacking pack on your back, backpacking into the back country and back.
Woo!
Jeez, oh, Pete.
Wow.
Could you have added more words that have plosives in it?
Damn.
What?
Never mind.
And of course, we love to chew the fat on all sorts regarding the outdoors. Thanks for joining us. I am Travis J. White, and we're talking gear today on episode 31. We've covered all the basics of backpacking gear and clothing. But there's more. You can't show up at camp without accessorizing. Some are essential, some are personal preference. We will get to that later, but it looks like the guys are eager to get going. He has a ground clearance of 9.8 inches.
I know who he's talking about.
Despite his stature, he still gets roasted by 10-year-olds on Xbox trying to play Fortnite. Known online as Old Head.
Yeah.
Patty Richardson.
Hey. Yeah, I am old head online. That's right. And even my characters have gray hair because I'm just living into it. You know what I mean? Who cares?
You've
Take
been
that.
Playing with Sebastian?
Oh, I play video games often. Like I play a lot of 2K with my buddy Farron.
Oh, yeah. You're like a 2K champ.
Well,
to
we try to go comp every other, if not every 3 years. We kind of jump on the sticks a little heavier. You know what I mean?
Every iteration? Newest season?
I don't do every season of NBA.
Okay.
I let it ride for a few years.
Stick with the one you're good at.
Yeah. Or just set it down for a while. Sometimes you got to take a break from the sticks, you know?
What do those young bucks think about getting pooned by an old head?
Hey, man, it's really nice. The thing is I don't actually talk unless I'm in a party with my buddy. So I just hear all their shit talk, and I never shit talk to them because I don't think I'd be good at it. And also, I just kind of feel like there's a weird, strange thing where, like, they call me an old head or a boomer or this. The other day,
what are you going to say?
Ashley was listening to the thing, and these kids were like, I bet my gamer tag is Patrick Ryan R as well. So it's like the most boomer gamer tag you could possibly have.
You couldn't get more boring.
It's not like I didn't know that you could get creative, so I made it the first digits of my email address.
Yeah, it's not like lowercase x, uppercase X.
Yeah, dude.
Killing God.
No, exactly.
X,
There's zero creativity to it. It's my name. And so this kid online was saying, Patrick Ryan R has 3 kids. One's a girl, 2 are boys, lives in the suburbs or whatever, and was just shitting on me for like 2-3 hours straight. It was, it's quite a thing.
I tell you what, the best gamer tag I've ever heard. Our friend Mark, friend of the podcast, when his son was super young, his son's name's Graham.
Yeah.
So he made him an Xbox account, Graham Reaper.
Oh, that's really good.
Awesome,
he jumped on that one as fast as he can.
Dang, that's good.
They may have chose that name so he could use that gamer tag.
Wow.
Well, that guy over there you just heard talk about pooning noobs, he has a meager 6.4 inches of ground clearance.
Oh, did you look that up?
Did you look that up?
Yes, I did.
Oh, nice. What a loser.
It's a Ford.
Yeah.
How do I even get around?
But what he lacks in height, he makes up in length. Focal length.
Yes.
Bradley Greer.
Hey.
You just got a new camera lens. Well, borrowing one?
In the process. Yeah, I found out you can rent lenses online.
You're going
it's
so hard
it's pretty
now.
cheap. So before I buy a new one, I figure I might as well try it out. Do a rental.
Brad's going hard now? Is that what you said?
I mean, he has been.
Yeah.
With the camera.
Real hard.
Yep.
He has this new like strap thing, and Travis said you're like one
like a
bulletproof vest away
vest,
from being like a World War
a ballistic vest.
III military photographer.
I was going to say, no, more like Vietnam, but I guess, yeah, World War III probably makes more sense.
You get it, boy, though.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I think? I think you're a king in the photography world, and you just go ahead and tear that shit up.
Thank you. I will.
You know what I mean?
I think I will.
I know.
I'm enjoying it.
Me too.
That's what's great about when you have a friend that has a hobby that everybody could enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, that's a sweet picture of a bird.
Yeah, it's been fun AF.
Pretty soon I'll start handing out random prints to everybody. And that'll just, like, you'll just have a print randomly.
Well, we have boatloads of space on
I'm
these
waiting for
on
mine.
the studio
Waiting for
walls, dude.
Yeah.
Also, I'm waiting for mine, so I'd appreciate that anytime soon.
Don't
sir.
worry, they'll come.
All right.
I think he's pretty much giving them to everybody but us, Patrick.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know.
I
That's
don't know
dog shit.
How about what's your favorite birds? Like, that's an achievable
Oh,
And a
bird.
kingfisher.
Okay.
You get a kingfisher or make it look good and put it up on my wall. I'll put it up on any of my walls.
I did get one.
owls? Do you do owls?
Trying to get owls.
Always
Owl.
trying.
I want an owl photograph.
Okay. So it may take a few years, but you'll eventually get a print of an owl.
Badass owl photograph.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
It's News Panther
Hopefully
time.
he's bringing us owl photographs.
I accidentally saw some of the show notes today, and I'm pretty sure one of the News Panthers, I'm sure both, but one of the News Panthers is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
They're always awesome.
Well, touche.
The first one is a fun story that I just thought was cool. The headline reads, "Despite broken car mirrors, residents take woodpecker invasion in stride."
What?
Yeah.
That's so funny because somebody just mentioned to me today about woodpeckers pecking mirrors.
Yeah.
What?
That's why I think I almost didn't choose this story because I felt like it kind of broke like large nationwide.
Spread too
So a
far
lot of
into the
people-
news
yeah.
cycle.
I like finding those deep cuts, but this is a pretty fun story in case anybody hasn't heard it out there.
I've never heard it.
So it comes from Rockport, Massachusetts. This article came from ABC News, and they started off in a funny way. So I'm going to read like what they wrote. During the War of 1812, townsfolk in the tiny fishing village hurled rocks at British soldiers using their stockings as slings. Now they're slinging trash bags and towels over side mirrors of their cars to protect them from destructive and determined pileated woodpeckers.
Oh, wow.
That is a stretch,
Yeah,
dude.
that's what
That is a stretch. Wow.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
From 1812 to woodpeckers knocking mirrors
I'm
off.
not even
Get it.
sure what to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did say pileated woodpeckers are picking fights with side mirrors and some windows and windshields of cars
Really?
in this small town. Over the last 2 weeks, this woodpecker has broken more than 24 side mirrors and one side window.
Whoa.
And I think it is like an ongoing thing. So these numbers are currently like and counting.
Is it just like both genders of that bird are doing it, or is it just males?
I think it's just this one.
This one
They
bird?
don't know for
Oh,
sure.
just one.
Yeah, they don't know for sure because they don't have them all like on film or anything. But they think it's just one pileated woodpecker because they are a territorial species. So
Yeah.
they'll have their mate and their mate has their territory and they're not migratory. So they're there year round. So they defend their territories. So they think it's probably just one pileated woodpecker.
Defending his territory
Yeah.
from his own reflection.
Yeah. The good thing is, like, the residents seem to be taking it in stride. They're not like calling animal control to come out and take care of this woodpecker. A local resident, Ben Favaloro, which I thought was a very Massachusetts name.
Yeah, it is.
He said, "Everybody's having a good laugh about it. Nobody wants to harm the bird. He's always welcome back." So
Nice.
yeah, that's how I feel like how I would feel too. Like,
So would I.
what are you gonna do? Like, he's doing what he knows what to do.
Well, still, I'm proud of that community for
Yeah.
not being buttholes about it.
Yeah. So like at first they started noticing, like these residents started noticing when they'd go out to work in the morning or whatever, or go out to their car, their side mirrors weren't where they were supposed to be. Because, everybody,
Oh,
that's
they're
the first
moving
thing
them
you
around.
noticed. So everybody thought that was weird. And then Ben Favaloro, his sister-in-law actually saw a woodpecker on his truck on the side mirror, like pecking at it. So then they kind of put it all together and realized,
Nice.
oh shit.
So are they actually breaking the glass? or-
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And side me, I saw in a different article a windshield and a side window,
A
and,
windshield.
and then like 24 side mirrors.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen a pileated woodpecker?
Yeah.
They're the most dinosaur-looking bird I've ever seen.
What
Yeah,
size are we
totally.
talking?
They're the size of a large crow. About
say anywhere-
16 to 19 inches
Yep.
long with a
Holy-
30-inch wingspan.
Phew.
Yeah, they're not small birds, and you can. I mean, dude, they get it.
They're always super exciting to see just because they do look so crazy. So,
they do look like dinosaurs.
Yeah, so here's what they look like. They have a very noticeable bright red mohawk. I think this may be like the stereotypical woodpecker when you see like in a cartoon or something. It seems like it's kind of based off of this woodpecker.
Yeah.
I could be wrong though.
I think you might be wrong. I think that might be drive-by science.
Well, what's the woodpecker then?
I don't remember, but
Well,
I think
Woody
like
Woodpecker didn't look like that.
Woody
right?
the woodpecker is based on a different woodpecker.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's an extinct woodpecker now.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
But
R.I.P.
seeing that, it seems familiar.
Yeah. So yeah, like a very bright red. It's super noticeable because it has such a bright red mohawk that sticks
Totally.
up pretty high. Then there's a red streak going down its neck. And then the rest of the body is like pretty much black and white. They are native to the U.S. and they are the largest woodpecker in the U.S. and they're the third largest woodpecker in the world.
Dang.
So they are pretty big woodpeckers.
Yeah.
We just talked about the smallest woodpecker.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago. When pileated woodpeckers are not eating cars, they normally survive off insects that live within trees. So, like they're normally pecking at trees trying to find insects.
Yep.
Like I said, like they do defend their territorial area against other pileated woodpeckers and other species that are trying to get into their nest. They're usually pretty tolerant of like migratory birds and anything else that's just not bothering them. But it is unusual because even when they're trying to get other woodpeckers or other birds out of their nest or away from them, normally like pecking isn't the top of their list. It's normally like the intimidation kind of like spread your wings and puff up or like flapping wings against each other or chasing each other around. Like normally they're not jabbing at it. So it is kind of an odd behavior for woodpeckers. One local avian biologist just chalked it up to like, he might be just a little stupid.
Really?
That's literally the quote from the article.
Wow.
Yeah, so he may not all be there.
So do they actually fight each other like where they would instead of just, getting swole?
Like if
and
it
trying
came down
intimidate?
to it.
Yeah, they do. Like they will peck at each other, but it's normally chasing each other around and like, because you see it or hear it every now and then where birds are just going insane, like crazy, squawking and stuff. They'll just kind of do that and chase each other around.
Sometimes you'll see two of them tumble out of the air and hit the ground.
Yeah. Oof.
You think it also could be that it's just like just fun?
To bust car mirrors?
I mean, I don't know.
Well,
Like,
it is
that's the first kind of thought that comes
Maybe
to my
he just
mind. If
likes
it's not
doing it.
well, that,
maybe it just likes doing it. Yeah.
That same avian biologist said that, like, normally most birds in general do act aggressively against reflections of themselves.
Oh.
So it's not just the woodpecker thing. But it's
A
weird.
lot of animals do.
But what's weird is he keeps, like,
going to the reflection.
yeah, he keeps finding these
Yeah.
side mirrors on
Yeah,
cars.
the fact that he,
Seeking it out. And then
recognizes
it's like, that's why
And
it
then
seems
and then
fun.
another.
It seems fun.
Yeah, it's really weird. But yeah, so anyways, that was the fun story. Now a little bit of science.
Let's lay in.
Frog mating calls teach bats which prey to avoid.
Yeah.
The bat is a fringe-lipped bat, which resides in Central and South America, and it uses a symphony of animal calls as a map to finding its food.
Yeah. This is the one I read.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
The bat does not smell or stalk its prey like other animals, like you're used to seeing in other animals. It instead just listens to them. And like to them, they equated it to like mom ringing the dinner bell. They hear and think of like how this is Central and South America, so a lot of rainforest regions.
Do they use sonar?
No, it's mainly just sound.
It's just all listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they're not
Yeah.
putting any sounds out.
Yeah. As far as I know, they didn't mention that. And that is weird because like bats normally do echolocate. This bat does have eyes. So I imagine they say they don't hunt through eyesight. So their eyes must not be that good.
No, the way I took it, it was like, if the frogs are here, then that means there's got to be food. So if they're,
No.
that's how I took it.
No.
No?
Frogs are making mating calls And
Right.
certain mating calls are like they can determine that mating call is a frog that I can eat. That mating call is a frog that is toxic and I do not want to eat.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's not how
they
I
can
saw
even
it.
they can even say that is the sound of a frog that's too big for me to pick up and carry away or to even eat.
I
in
was
general.
totally thinking
Right.
like because of their mating calls, there would be like a certain amount of these kinds of bugs.
That's
around.
what I thought.
Not the
yeah.
actual
yeah,
frogs.
yeah, no, frogs and toads. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that this is kind of unique to this bat. It is like I hate to say it because I like all animals, but this is one ugly looking bat.
He's an uggo.
It's pretty.
Uggo. He's an
Wow.
uggo.
It has wart-like bumps on its lips and muzzle, and an overall reddish brown color.
That's insane.
like the short or the wart-like bumps, or why they call it the fringe-lipped bat. That's where it
looks
gets
like
its name.
Satan.
that picture looks like a sculpture of like a psychotic
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah.
What's weird is it has, like the tail's short, but it has a nose leaf with serrated edges. So it just has this, it looks like a leaf sticking off of its nose that has serrated edges. I don't know I didn't see what they were like, if it's a functional thing or if it's, I don't know. Look it up if you're at home because it looks like it's a trippy looking bat.
Yeah, for real. We'll post. I always post the News Panther stories on our Blue Sky, so
Yeah, good
you'll
point.
be seeing those throughout
Yeah.
the week.
Good point.
Did you see any videos of them catching prey?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that would be gruesome.
So this, I could, imagine.
How big is this bat?
I know I'm pretty sure I wrote it down. Maybe I didn't.
We always got to ask how big it is.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
because I'm picturing like a big toad, or a frog,
Or like a little
you
tiny
can't be
frog.
unless it's just eating it, like gnawing at it and taking chunks out. But I would presume that it's eating it all in a bite.
Yeah.
So that's a big ass bat.
So they weigh between 32 and 45 grams. Their maximum recorded length is about 100 millimeters, which is 100 divided by 25.4. That should be easy.
Good
2.54.
fuck. I have no idea. I cannot believe you just even attempted that math in your head.
3.93 inches. So pretty small.
Yeah, pretty small.
Yeah.
4.
Especially to be eating a frog.
That's what I was
That
asking.
can't be right.
That's why I was wondering, because unless it makes sense.
There are tiny
if
little
the
frogs.
bat is just like gnawing at it, it's taking chunks off the frog and getting it.
There
Like,
are
that makes
bug-sized
sense.
frogs. Though.
Because
But that would make it a hunter.
And they-
like that would make it like I know that they're hunting insects and stuff, but that means that it would have to like somehow subdue the frog first off, because that frog would be fighting him,
Well, they do
So-
have like teeth too. They have like
Yeah.
molars and incisors.
So maybe it takes a chunk out of its jugular. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That'd be scary. Every time you're trying to have, some whoopee, you got a chance of something swooping
Yeah.
in and just
Yeah, that's
eating you.
terrifying.
That's the whole time I was wondering, will the frogs eventually learn and just keep changing their mating calls? But that was kind of the whole point of this study. And the study was done by the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute. And they always knew that these bats could choose their prey based on the call. And like they could differentiate between a poison. Are frogs they're venomous, right? Not poisonous.
Some frogs are.
But like know between a frog that can kill them if they eat it or a frog that they can't eat.
Yeah, they just know
knew
the frog calls.
They knew that was going on, but they didn't know if it was an instinctive behavior or if it was a learned behavior.
Oh.
So that's what the study was trying to figure out.
Frogs are poisonous, right? Poisonous frogs,
Some
like
of
the
them.
poisonous dart frog, green dart.
That makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're poisonous, not venomous. Venomous comes from their teeth. Poison
Yeah.
comes from everything else.
Secretes.
Yeah, secretes.
Okay. There we go. Tried by science.
Can I do it? Can I do it?
Yeah.
Clack, 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 clack. Drive by science.
Oh, we've got a T-shirt to make.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There wasn't a whole lot of details about exactly how they did the study. Another interesting part about how they do get these frogs and toads is they're flying around above it and they like hear it and they have a split second decision to make. Do I dive bomb and get the frog and toad, or do I like that's not one that I want to eat, or picking those sounds out. And I thought it was interesting because this is something that's not, I never thought about this. It's something that isn't common among species. So think of like a cow, right?
Yeah.
Hearing a bird call and knowing like, oh, that's a warbler. Oh no, that's a cardinal. Like interspecies knowing calls of other species. And being able to differentiate between the different calls of the same of the species.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I've never thought about that, but it kind of makes sense.
Do
like,
other animals know what other animals are?
Right. And as far as I know, I don't think it happens very often. I think they did talk about it in this study, and that's what made me think about it was that's like one of the reasons these bats are special and why they're studying it is because it's able to learn other calls from other species.
But I'm kind of confused because there are a lot of like animals that know how to react to the calls of other animals, you know.
But it's usually like birds. Like we'll say like, for example, I don't know, because isn't there something where crows make a call and bears know that means there's food?
Yeah, they learn.
But I think it's
all
more,
sorts of stuff.
but I don't think they can like differentiate between, say if a blue jay made that call, the same call that the crow's making, they wouldn't know the difference between the two. Or like any other call, they just know that one call means there's food there. Kind of like dumping dog food in a bowl. A dog knows that it's dinner time.
Yeah. No, I still find that I understand where your mind is or what you just said. It does make sense in terms of like that split second decision of knowing which thing to eat and all, because it's the same species that they're looking to eat as well. That'd be like, I don't think many lions would give a shit which hyena it was eating, whether or not one that had rabies or one that didn't, or some disease. Like it would just be, this is the thing I've eaten for fucking millennia. That's what I'm going to eat. That's the smell. That's the call I know. I'm going to eat that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I think it's being able to differentiate between a different group of animals. That's what Logan James, who is the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute postdoctoral research and lead author of the study,
good Lord,
talks about is like, that's one thing that's remarkable is they can differentiate between species.
Bat scientist.
Yeah.
They could have just put that.
Yeah.
That's not as cool, dude. That's not as cool.
So for this study, they ran a test using 15 different species of frogs and toads, including both edible and toxic species. And that's where there wasn't a whole lot of other information, like what was the environment they were in and everything. I trust they had a good experiment. The first thing they were able to confirm was that juvenile bats could not distinguish between toxic and non-toxic frogs and toads.
Oh.
But they could distinguish between a call from a frog that's too big for them to eat, to be able to carry away.
Okay.
So they think that part of it is instinctive.
Oh gosh.
And then they learn, they equated it to like
it's even more complicated.
Yeah. They equated the learned behavior of knowing this is toxic versus this is not toxic, but kind of the same way they compare it to like how toddlers learn. If you touch the oven and burn yourself, you know not to touch the oven.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how they now, like what came out of the study was the bats are learning it through experience.
Yeah.
Like they'll get a toad. Luckily it didn't kill them. It may mess them up or just be disgusting. And they know not to ever pick up anything that's making that call again. And they learn it and remember that for the next time.
Wow.
Yeah. So and it made me wonder.
So there is some experimentation.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they have to like try a bad thing to know it's bad.
Like putting your your hand on the hot stove, you know, when you're young.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's incredible.
Yeah. So they definitely thought it was pretty interesting and relating it to how human children learn. And apparently there's not a whole lot of studies that have been done on animals to figure out what is a learned behavior, what is an instinctive behavior. Like they've never really dove into any animals to differentiate between the two. Ooh. Or like what it's like, obviously there are like some cases we know like whales and dolphins and stuff, their parents teach, which they are mammals, right?
Yep.
but there's not a whole lot of studies done to figure that out. So that's kind of one thing this is going to open up to more studies, is figuring out what's instinctive, what's learned behavior throughout trial and error.
I was just telling Joe, my coworker, today, I said, there's nothing you can tell me about nature that's going to like surprise me anymore, because there's just, they find out so much crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All the time about, you know, stuff that we just, wild things that we never knew, and how it's all related with each other. And
That's the importance of science.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because all that knowledge can be used to help humans, to help other animals and species that may be endangered, or like we talked about last week, like they're trying to release back into the wild.
Yep.
Just knowing more and more knowledge about other animals helps everything else, and helps the world in general, the environment.
And now you know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
I've never heard that before.
That's G.I. Joe, dude. You don't know G.I. Joes? Oh, okay. I was about to say, Travis J. What? You weren't a G.I. Joe guy?
I can't believe I got you.
Yeah, you did. Man, that was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
That was the News Panther did go off, if you guys didn't hear it.
No.
Yeah.
Is it over?
Yep. That's it.
Oh, damn it, dude. Well, that was cool, Brad. That Toad story, I thought that was incredible. What's crazy is I didn't read it the same way at all, and now I get it completely.
Yeah, and you made me nervous, thinking, I was like, oh shit, did I read it wrong?
They're hunting the toads.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I
want to see footage.
They do also eat insects and stuff, but their main thing is if they can get a toad.
We
or a
left
frog.
it wide open. Like, how do they eat it?
Yeah, I want to
Whole?
see how they
Or
eat it.
Yeah.
Do they
They
just
cannot eat it
rip
whole.
it apart?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
they cannot eat a
the
whole.
fact that they do have teeth, and you can see them in that picture, they probably do just tear it up.
No lips.
Damn.
The teeth just go right straight into their
Yeah.
skull face.
Kind of like, think of like a bald eagle eating a fish. They're like holding it underneath their feet and just ripping at it.
Yeah. Ugh.
They're serrated leaf nose, these bats.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys ready to get into the meat and potatoes of this episode?
Yeah, let's do it.
Little gear talk?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got another gear episode.
Yep.
All the way back, we've started with the backpack, pretty much all the backpacking gear, and we just got through all the clothing.
Yeah.
So what else could be left? Well, there's some accessories to go with all that stuff too.
Yes, there is.
And boy, can there be a ton of stuff you need to bring with you.
Yeah.
Or, like I said earlier, some of it's personal preference. But yeah, those things like hats and belts and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So where do you want to
I
start
like
with
to call
that?
clothing accessories.
Yeah.
You know, because you wear them, things along those lines, where there's tech accessories, there's gear accessories, things along those lines that we'll get into later.
Accessories for everything.
Yeah, there always is.
But
for
we're
sure.
focusing on clothing accessories.
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
You know?
What would you say is like your most important or top priority for accessories?
Dude, number one is hat for me. I think a hat is hugely important for kind of a lot of reasons. I think for me, it goes hat, sunglasses. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my top two clothing accessories that I want.
Yeah.
You know me, I 90% of the time I'm wearing a hat. Maybe 70.
Yeah.
Which is, it's kind of funny because on the trail, most often I'll have like a buffer on my head
Yeah.
more than I have a hat,
Yeah.
but I'll always have sunglasses.
Right.
Like that's the number one priority. Sometimes I'll even bring, no, I don't know if I do it too often, like bring backup sunglasses, at least on the trip, and maybe not out backpacking with, but
So sunglasses is your number one?
I would say so.
What's your number one, Travi?
Now that Brad said that, I was thinking hat number one, but I think I'd be okay without a hat.
Yeah.
But without sunglasses, that would be tough.
Yeah.
Wow.
'Cause
That's
it's-
actually true. Damn. Can I switch mine? Is that okay?
If you'd
'Cause-
like.
Okay. I'm
'Cause
going
I-
to switch
Is
mine.
it official?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
do. If I didn't have sunscreen, a hat would be pretty important. But I make sure to always put sunscreen on, because especially when you're at higher elevations, you can get fried way easier. And I'm pretty pale,
For
so
sure.
a lot of sunscreen and sunglasses.
Well, let's stick with sunglasses here.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about sunglasses, right?
Yeah.
So what do you, why are they so important to you? Like, is there a specific reason? Can you point to some specific reasons about sunglasses that make them so important?
With most of them, like ideally you'd want to go with polarized sunglasses, and that filters out like the harsh UV rays, so you can see everything more clearly, see where you're going more easily, and enjoy the sights better.
Yeah, with the polarized, what I was calling it was like glare
Yeah.
reduction, getting rid of all that.
Yeah.
It just like cleans up everything. And one, I think that's super great for just like your visuals. You're on trail. Sometimes you're in the most beautiful, serene countryside that you could possibly be in. So to have dude, when I came on to polarized sunglasses was only like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And it changed my damn life. Like I was seeing better out of my own eyes, kind of like 4K. Like
Everything
I think it
seems a little more crisp.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's anything better I can get than polarized, just like 4K. I think that at this point, just quit it. My eyes don't even work that well, and I'm just regressing as I get older. So like,
Yeah.
whatever. At some point, 1080 is going to be fine, and then at some point, like some tube TV, and I'll be like, this is perfect. You know what I mean? But polarized, that shit's amazing. So
Yeah.
it once again, it's not just good in my opinion for like being able to see everything, but it's also for like the safety.
Yeah.
Being able to see better on trail and getting rid of that glare is safer.
And can't a lot of exposure of UV rays to your eyes, can it kind of damage your eyes over time too?
Well, so that's the glare, or what the polarized is the glare. The other kind of spectrum that I had written down, which made sunglasses my number 2, probably number 1 now, is the 100% UV protection.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of a different amenity of backpacking sunglasses. I think you can buy 100% UV like all day long at gas stations and things like that. But that's another just bonus of having sunglasses. It does protect your eyes.
I would love to ask Brad about the science behind polarized and all that. We don't have time.
Yeah, no.
But I do have two things I need to say.
Yeah.
And about a month ago, I bought a pair of sunglasses from Sierra for, I don't know, they were like $15.
Yeah.
And I didn't know they were polarized because I didn't expect them to be, because they were only $15.
Yeah.
But they're Timberland brand. And I put them on and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, these are nice. And just this last week, I dropped them on carpet and they broke.
Yeah.
The lens flew out of
dang.
it.
Yeah.
The frame broke.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come on, Timberland.
That's why they were $15 on sale at Sierra. Trying to get rid of those things.
But there are that being said, there are, back in the day, to get polarized sunglasses, it used to be expensive, but you can get, now there's like Gooder. I know me and Patty tried Gooder.
That's one of the brands we've had.
They're just not very comfortable. Like I've been Ray-Ban, Wayfarer. I've had the same pair for I think probably 10 years now. And it seems like they must be indestructible because I take them on every trip I go. They're in my backpack right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're in my backpack right now, and I've had them forever.
I have a caveat to my preference now.
Go ahead.
If it was possible to wear a cowboy hat with a backpacking pack
You mean
on,
practical?
I would.
Practical.
Yeah. Because you could.
Yeah, you could
It's
easy.
just not practical.
No, yeah. I don't wear. It's nice when it's up and high on the back.
One would argue that it's always practical to wear a cowboy
But
hat.
I could have a cowboy hat without sunglasses and be fine.
Dirt.
Actually, you look kind of weird with a cowboy hat and sunglasses.
Yeah.
But with that, like with hats though, I do always have a hat with me.
Yeah.
And if I'm not wearing it, usually I have like a snapback or something, and I just attach it to the outside of my pack, where throughout the day, if I want to throw it on, I can grab it, throw it on. And I do, like we talked about those sun shirts. So I do normally have a sun shirt hoodie.
Yeah.
So I'll pull that up, put sunglasses on, good to go.
Well, really quick, just back to the sunglasses. I also wear Ray-Bans generally. I broke mine right before our last backpacking trip, and I bought a pair of Gooders leading into it. And then when we were actually in Montana, I bought a pair of Sunski brand, which
Oh yeah.
you remember that? So
Yeah.
the Gooders were roughly about $20 a pair, $25, $30 a pair. And then the Sunski brand, I think I got like a median price, which is about $100. But I will say that, like, to your point, Brad, that it is like there's something about the weight and the feel of Ray-Bans. And I do understand that, like, backpacking's all about weight no matter what it is, and having a heavy pair of shades on your face is tiring and exhausting and things like that. But I've done some shit in my Ray-Bans and they don't get exhausting to me. And it also feels like I can, like, if I don't want them on my face, I can kind of chuck them on the ground and they're not going to shatter. And every one of those, like, quote unquote backpacking sunglasses that I tried on just seems so, or bought, just seems so flimsy and kind
you
of
could have
like,
bought them at a gas station.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not known any different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The
Because they're
Sunskis
trying
were
to
made
save
quite a
weight.
bit. No, I don't know. It's the
Or
material.
making them
It is.
or inexpensive so they can sell them for $20.
Yeah. Well, the Sunskis were 100, and those things were made like a little bit better. But even the lenses, like, you know, the gas station lenses where they're not like they're not crystal or whatever, they are glass.
Yeah.
They're kind of like a plastic almost or
yeah.
whatever. And that's what they felt like. It was just kind of, but then again, like you said, you're paying the money. Anyway, to the hats though, I think it's not just for me about shade and about, like, you know, whatever style. I think there's also like a super great functionality with hats in why I like to wear hats as well. You know, like wicking the sweat straight off of your face as opposed to it dripping down onto your eyes, and you that feeling of having to wipe your eyes and you have dirty hands. You know?
Yeah, and I think I usually wear a buff as a headband. If you don't know what a buff is, it's basically like a scarf that's made out of like lightweight, breathable, absorbing, or like sweat wicking material.
Yep.
And there's all kinds of different configurations you can put it on your head, but I just wear it like a headband basically. And then it's nice because you kind of have a, like, you know, like the old man snot rag.
Yep.
Even, I'm not blowing my nose in it, but you kind of just have like a all-purpose, like wipe sweat off rag.
Yeah, I always have something like that. I have it on my mic thing right now, my boom right now. It's always with me out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, generally there's times where I'll just wear that and take off the hat if it's starting to get later on in the evening or early in the morning, something like that.
Yeah, because then sometimes like I get too hot in a hat and I just kind of want my hair to breathe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I know, Travis, I usually see you with your White Sox hat out there.
Yeah, I bring that bad boy out there, but it gets pretty hot pretty quick.
It's a
with
wool
a
hat, right?
like that. Yeah, so I have this nice little place that I can tuck it into, and it sits right on top of my pack because I know I'm not going to need it long.
Yeah,
It's almost like having a sock hat for a little bit when it's warm in the morning or cold in the mornings.
Travis will stuff it in his little spot and then look back at you and say, "Is it in there?
Is it still in there?"
Speaking of hats, dude, what do you guys like? Do you guys pack beanies or like warm hats?
Yeah, if it gets cold enough at night, it's just nice having one at camp.
Yeah.
It's more of a luxury, really, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, because normally, like we always say, with the time of year we plan to do trips, it could be cold at night and then warm in the day.
Yep.
So I do normally bring like a beanie hat.
So do I.
Hat.
That was one of the things that I was like, like I always struggle with myself getting my gear list together, and beanies always like in that pile of a couple things where you're like, maybe not, maybe so. Is it super important?
Then you weigh it and it's only like 2 ounces, and you're like,
It doesn't
exactly.
weigh hardly anything. Yeah.
And then you put it on that like I first night, you know, you're behind that mountain, the sun goes down, you still have to get your tent up, get some food cooked, and to throw on a beanie is just that extra warmth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's kind of like the other thing we kind of always hit on is like just being comfortable at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's just another thing to make you comfortable.
It's a reward.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, the ultralighters listening right now are probably just like,
You
yes,
psychopaths.
you are psycho. All that weight. Are you out of your mind?
And I got another one to add on top of that is I'll bring like a thin pair of gloves.
Yeah, that was the other one.
Yeah. Normally I look for them everywhere, and I usually, like, if I find a pair that I like, I'll buy them. And they're just kind of like good form fitting, like ones that you can get small, medium, large, so they fit your hand really well. And that's like in the morning when it's cold, that's a savior to help get the day going.
I actually bought a pair of North Face gloves at retail value.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they are,
you can't hide money.
they're nice. They,
Jammy branching out.
they hug
Patagonia
my
pants.
hands so well. Like the fingers, each like finger sleeve is perfect. I love those gloves.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. It's like an underrated thing. A good fitting. God, we're getting old, aren't we?
Yeah.
No,
A good fit, like a good fitting pair of gloves.
we just dove into that one. didn't we?
Man, when I saw you the first night up at the our last trip, I was I remember saying to you, "Boy, that looks good," or something like that. Like gloves are just another one of those things that if you look up a gear list on any website, it's going to have gloves in there. But when you get down to it, you're like, yeah, fuck it. Like gloves, whatever. I have my pockets or something like that. But when I saw Brad out there, it was like, oh, snap, dude. He's like opening that bear canister and his hands aren't cold. And he's doing this and it's not bad. And I was like, that just seems like nice.
Well, what's funny is one or two of those mornings I was thinking, man, my hands are cold with these gloves on. I don't know how you don't have gloves on.
Yeah, it's Chili Willies.
You just sit rocking with your hands in your pockets.
And kind of a weird other benefit that may come in handy is if you're being really aggressive on your trekking poles, your hands can start to get blistered or messed up. So having a pair of gloves, it may help you eventually.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I never thought of that. That's true.
Because some people wear like the weightlifting fingerless gloves when they're backpacking because they're trekking. Because
Those
trekking
things are
poles.
awesome.
Yeah.
Are they?
I wore those when I was overseas.
Oh.
Because it was just so easy to pick things up, but you could still be precise with your fingers.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I guess in wartime, then I'll give you that like pass of whatever.
It was
But
not a
there's-
fashion statement. I can tell you that.
there's something like some things that we've talked about throughout these seasons. There's some things that's just like a bit like, all right, bud.
Like zipper.
Just the fingerless glove thing.
Fingerless gloves to me, backpacking is just like a bit like, okay. Like, I don't know. I mean, I get the necessity and I get the, like what it is.
Yeah.
So there is that. Maybe that's like another 10 years of my age. Maybe then I'll be like, dude, you just can't beat them. Fingerless gloves, man.
And I'll be the first person to post a picture of Patty online wearing fingerless gloves.
So, okay, I have another one that I found was just because I had an experience with this product, and it just blew my fucking mind. It's bandanas.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys like tried and true bandana carriers?
No.
You're not?
No, I don't.
That
carry one.
surprises me, dude. You seem like you're just straight out of the 70s, 80s most time, like in terms of level of backpacking. I mean, it seems like you'd be a shoe-in for a handkerchief.
It would be nice to have one. I mean, I don't.
What about you,
I wouldn't
B-Rad?
use it on my head or anything. Like,
Yeah.
who?
I
Eddie
have too
Van
big of a
Halen or
head.
whatever the hell that was.
I have too big a
Guns
head.
N' Roses.
Unless they make XXL bandanas that I don't know of, I can't even tie a bandana around my
I
head.
don't. Yeah.
Brad, what about you? Are you a bandana carrier?
Well, I thought like being part of a farm family, that was like a prerequisite. You had to have a bandana in your
No,
back pocket.
I think that died with my grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My dad doesn't do it.
My grandparents always had bandanas.
What about you?
No, not a bandana, but I like having something too. Like I was saying with my buff, I can use it to wipe sweat off my face.
Yeah.
But I like having like a towel. Like I do always have a easily accessible like little hand towel or
Right.
something. But
Well,
not a
it's
bandana.
nice,
Not a bandana specifically
Well,
though.
I'm happy that you guys said that side of it, because the side of it that I found, and it helped out for me. We've told the story a couple times when we were down in Big South Fork, Tennessee with those dudes and we got lost. And that was one of the ways that we used to filter water. And I thought that was unbelievably fun and interesting and just another like life-saving like tool. So, I mean,
Fun, huh?
well, it's nice to say now. It wasn't fun then, but it's nice to say now because you guys are bringing off just like the wiping of the sweat. And yeah, we all have something to wipe sweat off with, but I always carry a bandana. I've had a bandana, like one that I've carried for probably 3 or 4 years.
Can you filter water with a shirt too?
Yeah, probably. But then again, like I don't know what it's like with all the synthetics and the wool and all that stuff. I don't know if it's the same. I don't know. You probably could. It's just that. But then there's also, and you could probably do this with a shirt too, but like tourniquet where you can tie that baby around a limb if somebody gets hurt.
I think
I'll talk about my belt. I mean, do you wear a belt still?
Well, if you have Travis with you, his first aid kit has a tournament.
Touche.
So just go find Travis.
Well, no. Like, it's always handy to have a nice, versatile piece of cloth.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
I do agree
South
with that.
Park. Like, don't forget to bring a towel.
Yeah.
You need
You didn't say it
something
right.
like that.
Or Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There's two rules. Don't panic and bring your towel.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know?
But yeah, I do always, like, a belt's a big necessity for me.
You wear a belt still?
Yeah.
I
Still.
do.
What?
Yeah.
Like, well, when I've switched to suspenders or what?
No, I don't, none of the, I had this in my notes is that I was thinking about it, like probably for about 5 or 6 or maybe even just a little bit more years because of the technology change in backpacking and hiking gear. I don't know if I've worn a belt in 5 years.
No
Really?
kidding.
Even like
you
right
don't have
now?
to wear a belt. Do you wear a belt when you go backpacking now?
Yeah. I wear a belt every
With
day
your
of my
Patagonia
life.
pants?
Not with those, no.
Well, those are your
See,
backpacking
but if
pants,
there's
right?
loops in my pants, yeah.
Right,
there's
but
a
they don't make
belt going in.
backpacking pants with loops on it very often anymore.
Brad has some.
all my backpacking pants have loops.
Really?
Yeah.
None of
And
mine do.
And that's like the Eddie Bauer ones do.
Really?
Like those American outdoorsman ones that I got at Sierra, those do. The cool ones that I have, those do.
the Cotopaxi don't. I'm sure some of their styles or whatever
Yeah.
do, but those ultralight, like super lightweight ones, they're just elastic
But they
or
make
drawstring.
but they make belts now that are like the plastic clips, like
Right.
what backpacks, like what your waist belt on your backpack
Right.
has.
And they're
Yeah.
stretchy.
And they're super stretchy, and
Interesting.
super lightweight.
Yeah.
but
You can't even tell,
But I mean,
but
with that being said, most
gotta
time
have a belt.
Yeah, like most time I am wearing shorts anyways, and those are like the tie scrunchy shorts. So I usually I'm not wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Though. I was under the assumption that they just discontinued belts. You know what I mean? Like it was because I wear a belt all the time in normal life, but with those
Oh.
pants on, like my shorts and my pants, like I just don't need. There's no need for it.
You made it sound like you never wear a belt.
Oh, I wear a belt all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would have blew my mind.
No, I wear a belt. All my pants
Yeah.
are perfectly.
He doesn't have a booty, so he's got to wear a belt.
Yeah, I have to wear a belt more than anybody
Toy.
does. I'd have to do like 6 years of squats to be able to not wear a belt. For sure.
So another way, I've never done this, but if we ever do like a desert hike, I may is bringing an umbrella for shade.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in the desert or a super sunny, like high elevation ridge walking. I know like some of the YouTube videos you'll see, they'll have umbrellas, especially like through hikers in the desert part. They'll bring an umbrella with them.
Dang.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
And
Never
even-
thought of an umbrella.
But even
Me
like,
neither.
on the Appalachian Trail when it's raining all the time, and they're like, you're still gonna get wet, but it's just
can't
nice
do it.
not to have rain pounding your face for 8 hours straight. Like just have a.
I'm
fucking
sure it is.
umbrella.
I'm sure it would be nice, and I ain't no ultralighter necessarily, but it just seems like,
Even that homemade Wanderlust lady, she uses an umbrella all the time.
oh shit, now I can't. Shit, dude. She's one of my influencers.
Yeah, I think that might have been where I first saw it.
I think
know.
that's a super luxury item.
Well, think about if you're in the desert though. That's like a piece of shade that you can't get
You
anywhere.
had me sold with the desert part of it, but with the rain, it's kind of just like, come on.
I could see it like day in, day out. You're just getting rained on all day.
Yeah, I understand it, but it's still
Yeah,
just
then,
like,
you know,
come
you
on.
find a nice cabin.
Like an
You don't
umbrella.
have, you don't
of
have
every-
time to find.
No, how far do you take the
Yeah, exactly.
backpacking
Yeah,
out of
Oh.
backpacking?
I agree. Like an umbrella, like sun, sure, but rain ain't gonna kill you.
I bet you can find an umbrella that's like.
Are we turning into ultralighters right now? Like, is this the first step? When
Well,
you and I are
to
turning to ultralighters, and Brad's turning into just
a
a
heavy,
a walking
heavy lighter.
RV.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Walking RV.
I'm not saying I would ever bring an umbrella. I can just see if I'm doing a through hike, I would be probably consider it for certain sections or times of the year.
It blows my mind that these thru hikers, or at least the ones that we've talked to, are so gear obvious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're so in tune to what their gear
but
is.
your body too.
And they're willing to cut out all the amenity except for an umbrella.
But like, think of what it's doing to your body being in the desert sun for.
You got me sold on the desert.
Okay.
I'm fine with the desert side. I get that.
Think
that will kill you.
I think that's the main, like that, and like high altitude ridge walking where there's no sun cover or no cover from the sun at all. I think those are really the main times I've seen people use it, and like occasionally to get out of the rain on like the AT or something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's also a difference between speed through hikers and just
Chillax.
Saunter.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Would those be in Patty's bubble or behind Patty's bubble?
Which ones?
The Saunters.
They would probably be in Patty's bubble, I
Yeah.
would think.
Right?
My bubble's massive, dude.
You're going to keep up with the speed?
How long's the app
Through
trail?
hikers?
2,100.
His bubble goes from Virginia to.
Well, I don't have to
Georgia.
keep up with the first through hiker. I just have to keep up with the last through hiker to be involved in that bubble.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
The funnest.
So I'll move
thru-hikers.
as fast as the last through hiker.
But then, like, another thing I've never used is a mosquito net
Yeah.
over my face. That's when that's what has me nervous about our canoe trip. The mosquitoes are going to be crazy.
I wouldn't worry so much about the canoe trip, but the Isle Royale trip is the one I am probably definitely most certainly I've already purchased
Even that,
a mosquito net.
like in that late of the year, do you have some insight? I know you had some.
I've been canoeing Michigan forever and never once had I always carry like a little can or a little bottle of bug spray, like no doubt, but I've canoed that state every season, for however many years now. And I've just never had to deal with it. But Isle Royale does concern me. It's a island in the middle of the largest lake in the world with lakes on it.
Right, but it's also
Marsh.
end of August, beginning of September, and
That's true.
in damn near Canada. That's what I'm counting on. Hopefully,
So you're not going to get a mosquito net for that trip?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'll have to look into it.
Are you
more.
going to?
I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah, because
I am. I'm getting one. Why the fuck not?
I always see, like, every time I'm planning trips in Michigan, there's like waves that go down, starting north, going down south through Michigan, like the black fly wave, then like the mosquito wave. And there's just all these you'll see, stay away from this area, Manistee Loop, in these months because that's when the black flies are there.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. So maybe we're just always missing those waves.
Nicely planned.
I'd rather have would you rather have mosquitoes or black flies
I was
to deal with?
about to ask the same question.
I would most likely.
Come on,
Yeah, right.
you know the game we're playing.
I'm glad you picked up on it. It didn't seem like you picked up on that fun joke. I would rather mosquitoes than black flies. Ugh, dude, those things hurt.
I don't know what annoys me more.
The black flies hurt.
Dude, they do hurt.
They do. They piss you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in that way.
Yeah.
But the mosquitoes are so annoying.
Get West Nile.
Yeah.
And they buzz in your ear and in your eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't choose that one. But like, I have a question.
Hit me. Us.
What do you guys think about fanny packs?
Oh, I know what I think. I love them. Not necessarily on trail. I love fanny packs, dude. By the way, we in the know call them waist belts.
Oh.
So if you don't mind not being an asshole.
It's the same thing no matter what you call it.
No, it's not the same thing. It's a waist belt and a fanny pack. And one way is cool and the other way is not that cool.
Saying waist belt seems like you're saying the same word twice.
Yeah, except you're not. It's waist and belt.
It's not so R-rated.
That's like saying
fanny pack.
That's like saying
No, it has
that's like
nothing
saying foot shoe.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes, that's exactly right.
belt.
Yes, you're exactly
Torso
right. Sorry.
shirt.
Sorry.
Head hat.
Yeah, I guess. Either way, I love them, dude. I have probably 4 fanny packs. I also prefer to call them fanny packs, like generally, but I have 4 of them.
What's your go-to leader?
Oh, I don't even know the leaders of mine. I bought a Kavu recently. That's just a nice, like, over-the-shoulder fanny pack or hip belt. I don't know.
Oh,
it goes over
you're
the
gonna
shoulder.
Get kicked out of the club.
Yeah, I know. No, that's how kids are wearing them nowadays. And I got to tell you,
you called it a fanny pack.
Oh no, I call them fanny packs.
Kind of like
I
you're wearing
generally
a
do.
bandolier, you know?
Yeah, well, it's just got everything like right here, so it's kind of nice. I don't know, like I definitely dig the style. I'll probably rock it way longer than kids do, but you know, I like it. I have a Patagonia one. I think that's like a 5 liter, so it's massive. That's the one you borrowed.
Yeah, that is massive.
Should have been waterproof, maybe not dunkable proof, but waterproof.
That thing went 60 miles off the shore of end of the Atlantic.
Yeah. Pretty tight, dude, especially for guys. Like, we don't have, like, I'm supposed to carry all this shit. You know what's crazy is every time I wear one, my wife's like, hey, will you put my phone in there? Hey, will you put the extra cash in there or this card in there? And then I end up carrying everybody's stuff too. So
yeah, it's like your reason for allowing yourself to carry a purse.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And you feel good about protecting everybody's things.
Like that's especially when traveling, if you're going through the airport.
Oh, it's the best.
Dude, you have nothing in your pockets. When you get there, the security line, you just pop off your fanny pack, throw it on the belt.
Yeah.
You're good.
It's exceptionally practical.
Yeah.
I do like having it around camp too.
Yes.
Strap that baby on when you got your everything else off, your tent up.
Yeah.
Go do some exploring or just
You do
whatever.
wear one backpacking, don't you?
Yeah.
He like loops
That's
it.
right.
He like loops it over his top of his pack.
Yeah.
The big horn on my pack.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Do you wear one?
I've taken one backpacking, but I don't normally.
I've never worn one actually backpacking.
Yeah.
It
is kind of that. Like it's a handy.
or not.
It's kind of just a handy for when you're at camp.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Grab all the stuff you need out of your pack.
Especially like
take that to your camp, to your food zone.
Yeah. Like I think I wore it to Pictured Rocks because you'd go hang out on the beach.
Yeah.
Like bring a snack with you or something.
Yeah.
If you're going to get water at night or something, you can carry all your water filter stuff and carry all your other stuff in your little pack.
Do you guys have specific brands, or are they just whatevers?
I have a Patagonia one, and I randomly got an Under Armour one just because I was at like an outlet or something, and it was like perfect to go when I'm out doing photography. Like put my batteries and stuff in. It's like the perfect size for that.
Yep.
And I can fit a small lens in it.
Yep.
And it's like perfect.
Oh man, the battleground photographer. Gonna happen.
Hey, it's like OD green too. I think. Do you guys have any other clothing accessories you want to talk about?
I'm good, dude. That kind of clocked it out for me.
Yeah, I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
What about watches? Is that
for me,
it's more of a tech thing?
Tech accessory.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So we'll get to that episode later on. That's for sure.
So there's more accessories to come.
There's far more
yeah.
accessories, dude.
Yeah,
But
we haven't even got into really electronics, right?
no, no, outside of just like SOSs and your Garmin and things like that. But no, we haven't.
Yeah.
Dude, we said it a long time ago. I think a long time ago. I think part of being a backpacker is also enjoying the gear, the research, the getting the right things, getting the things that fit you. It kind of becomes just like this side hobby. Like backpacking's the thing you do, but your hobby is actually looking and buying gear.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure throughout this whole series of even like clothing and clothing accessories, we've all rolled different stuff. We run different like gear for all of it.
Yep.
And then every time you go out on a 5-day trip, it's a 5-day experiment of whether or not you pack
for
the
real.
right shit.
Yep.
And it's fun to change it and
it is.
figure out how it works for you or how it doesn't. And everybody's a little bit different. And there's just so much out there
Yep.
There really
to talk
is.
about. And we're definitely going to get to more of it in the future.
Damn Skippy.
But you fellas ready to get out of here? I think we covered enough accessories.
See.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep on sauntering.
Bye.
Yeah.